What is going up, guys? This is the Flame Spot here. We are back with another video. And it's that time of year again where pretty much all hobbyists are doing the exact same thing in terms of videos, and they're pretty much going to be looking over their pile of shame. Yep, so pretty much I started miniature wargaming, as you might have seen in my previous video, and then, a couple of videos here and there of me doing some paintings of some Adeptus Custodes. Pretty much I've started getting into the wargaming aspect of board games and other things like that. I know my Empires of Destruction game was kind of a gateway drug, I guess, into actually doing full-on miniature war games. And just these little models right here, they definitely beat paper. Though I do like my Empires of Destruction game. My little own personal war game before I even knew they existed. But like I said, I'm pretty much just going to go over all the things that I need to paint since I have a lot of great plastic around, things that are unfinished, unprimed, some of them, or most of them, and some things that are still in the box. So these are going to be like projects I'm going to be working on throughout this year. Last year I didn't really have too much time. I was super busy with my work and then just settling down and everything in this new area that I'm at. However, this year I feel like I definitely can do a lot more creative things, particularly probably with war games. Especially so now, since you might be able to see the board in front of me has like a little setup for an actual war game scene. This was not just aesthetic for the video. No, I actually finally found someone in the immediate area who was interested in war games, so might even, who knows, might have a battle report at some point in the future. Pretty much this is the outcome of the table of the game that we did yesterday, which was a lot of fun, but now it gives me an actual excuse to again start painting my miniatures again. So let's go ahead and look at my pile of shame and other bits and bobs that I'm going to be needing to work on in the near future. Alright, so speaking of the table, we could just start off right here. So this was a bit of the end of the game that we played yesterday. It was Adeptus Custodes versus Genestealer cult. You can probably see right here. And just one of the first things I had to finish, I had started on my sisters of Silence. However, they are undone. I wasn't positive what I wanted to do for the paint scheme. I kind of wanted to contrast it with my Custodes theme, which were Shadow Keepers. I kind of wanted to do a white and red dominated Sisters of Silence. However, I'm thinking probably also gonna now just make it black. I was thinking about doing bronze initially, but I didn't finish this model, of course, with all bronze since it started looking extremely strange to me. So I'm thinking I'm probably just gonna do a red, white, and black theme with these girls right here. That's almost would be done with my Custodes, however. I have around 1,750 points of Custodes. Obviously, that's like 10 models or something. But I do have more models that are in plastic, especially to make it 2,000 points. And we'll see them a little bit later in my drawer of things that needs to get done. But yeah, so these sisters are the first things that need to get completed. However, I think I kind of got a paint scheme maybe for them. Obviously, you can see that I did the bases pretty all right. But yeah, that's the first thing. Now, next, we're just going to go ahead and just go right into it, are my Genestealers. Obviously, I have quite a few of these guys, and these are just the ones that I have on the table. I have a lot more boxes undone. And yes, I was using the index cards for this battle. So you can see that I'm trying to get a paint scheme with my Genestealers. This was actually just going to be for a kill team, which I was going to do a cell shade style. However, I just don't think I'm good enough painter for that, but it's still a work in progress. I just now have to get a Sharpie and do all of those nice things and paint up the weapons and such. So you can see I kind of just did like one of each for each of these things. However, I have a lot more Genestealers on the way in the boxes, and I'll show that in just a moment. However, first, I'm still going to just do some of the other miniatures that I have getting ready to paint right now. Well, you can kind of see it over here. I actually, I'm about to start painting up my Japanese infantry. Now, if you saw my previous video, I talked about how bad they of a condition they kind of were. And yeah, so I primed them all. I wanted them to get I didn't want to prime them black because it was a little bit more difficult with the Marines. I mean, I used a darker green for their uniform, so it wasn't that bad in the end. However, with these guys, I was going to, use a lighter color paint and start mixing some paints. And so I thought a lighter color prime would be best on them. However, this primer, I don't remember what it was. I think it might have been Xandri dust, but it was definitely a super thick prime, and you can actually kind of feel it in the texture. And then just some of these guys have been painted over 3 or 4 times, and they're still not really looking to how I kind of want them with the paints I have. So I'm gonna see if I can fix them up at the end of today. However, I have around 20 Japanese infantry right here, and then that would probably be the end of my Japanese army for a while. Actually, like I said, I do have that other Chiha tank. So besides that, I think that's probably gonna be it for my Japanese, at least for now. All right, so now we can actually start looking at some of the things that I just have in boxes stored away. These are things I actually shipped over to my new location here. I kind of never took them out of the box. As you can see, this is how I just did it. I just had a container and just lined the sides with plastic bags, and they all seem to show up pretty well. But yep, so I still have a Goliath rock grinder. I'm gonna have a lot more of these guys soon, as you'll see in a moment. Got a chariot that I've started, and then again couldn't get a good thing on it. And yes, I did mean to keep the little cross piece on there and dig this off so I can magnetize whatever unit I want on top of the chariot. So there can be multiple things. I have a bunch more Genestealers in here. One of the things actually that I do have that is extremely interesting are these, what was it? It's not a kill team, but for Age of Sigmar. Oh, Warcry. I've got a Warcry thing of the Jade Obelisk tribes people. So these are actually a cult that worships Tzeentch, and so I knew I had to have it. And then also to try out Warcry. And so I actually found, I made like a little colorful, super colorful paint scheme on these guys, and it's just super slow goes it since there's so much that you have to paint on these guys. And I currently only have 2 done out of the 10 or 11, I believe, but I have a lot more to do of these guys. So I definitely want to finish up these guys by the end of the year at least. Even though I might not have anyone to play the game with, they just look super cool, and then just always to have some extra cultists, even for 40k. I guess they'd be on the wrong bases, but maybe I might get into Age of Sigmar pretty soon. We'll see. But yeah, I have a lot of more Genestealers, a bunch of Acolytes, Abominant. I bought some Sagittarum for Custodes, and I cut everything out. I just need to prime them all, paint them together, so I have a squad of those guys. You can see just some extra pieces here and there. Yeah, I'm not sure whose that's to. Probably I'll find out when arranging all these pieces together. A blue horror. But in general, that's what's in this box. This other one, I've cleared out a lot. This had most of my Custodes in it. As you can see, I have a work in progress Blade Champion still in here. Trajan, whose axe got destroyed, or I said destroyed, but it broke off. So yeah, there was some damage on the trip over here, and got some more Screamers of Tzeentch. Speaking of Tzeentch, time to show off a lot of my Tzeentch stuff. And so this is Tzeentch and the rest of my Custodes. So as you can see, I pretty much finished almost all of my pink horrors and quite a few of my Screamers. I decided to call them Sherbert Screamers since they kind of look like sherbet. Probably need a wash on those guys. However, they are pretty much done. The main thing with my Tzeentch army that I need to finish are my blue horrors, my brimstones, which I think I'm going to keep them like a green-ish color. That seems pretty cool to me. And then my flamers. I don't have any of my flamers done. And honestly, I think I might have to respray that because that's not looking good underneath there. But also I made a blue scribes conversion from one of the start collecting containers. And then actually, that's not it for my, oh yeah, and also my heralds. Because I think I have one more start collecting box actually of Demons of Tzeentch, so I think I have even more of these guys to paint. And so speaking of boxes, I think it's time, these are all of the models that I have out of boxes currently, for 40k at least. So let's look at what I have inside of the closet. Ooh, yes, the closet has a lot more in it. And and we're gonna see what's all entails in there. All right, so I'm just gonna hold on to the camera, so it might be a little bit shaky. However, I have a lot of stuff in the closet, as you can see. Now, not all of these things are actually have models in them. So I know this top box right here is just bits and pieces. So this is just bits that I need to cut out. I'll probably get rid of some of it, but the box itself is usually pretty good to have around. However, this combat patrol box is completely full, so it has a whole nother 20 set of neophytes, 5 aberrants, 5 acolytes, and another rock grinding Goliath truck. So that's a lot more dudes right there. This combat patrol has the bikes still in it, and then the guard are the Sagittarum that I just showed off a little bit earlier. However, everything else is built in there except for no, I think I did the sisters in that one. Inside of this warning patrol, I actually think I built all of these guys. Most of them, obviously, as you saw, are unpainted, but at least it should just be bits inside of there. 5 Scarab Cult Terminators. I know I cut them out. I actually don't know where they're at. But I know I have 5 Scarab Cult Terminators somewhere that definitely needs painting still. Let's see, we got that Chiha tank that I talked about earlier with those extra sprues that I just showed off in the previous video. But here we have a bunch of Baratheons. None of these Baratheons from A Song of Ice and Fire, the miniature game, are painted. None of them are painted. I actually have a few models I was trying to work on to get the color scheme down. It is super hard to paint yellow, obviously, on miniatures, or at least good yellow, especially whenever you prime them black. So you might be thinking, oh, but these look like Renly Baratheons. They should be green. Which, yeah, that's fair. However, some of the units are dual army, so they can be for Stannis or Renly. So I was going to just paint those yellow, and they would just, you know, go on to whatever army I field whenever I want to play that game. So I don't think I mentioned this, but Song of Ice and Fire miniature game, I actually really enjoy. That's a really fun game. I thought there would be a lot of people to play where I'm at now, but haven't found any interest in anyone nearby. So they might just stay on the shelf for a little bit. I'm not sure if I'm going to get my Baratheon army done. Oh yes, and just true transparency, I also have the Baratheon starter kit that is also pretty much completely unfinished. Like I said, I was working on trying to get this yellow. It looks alright from far away, and definitely from the camera, that looks like a good yellow. However, up close, you can see that there are, it's a little messy. So I've tried all sorts of things. This one had like 5 different coats of yellow on it. This one, you can see that I started painting, just put a base white coat over it and then painted yellow. I did some of that. I think the flag I did that for, and it looks all right. However, it's still not perfect. Some of them I just went a couple layers and then just added some orange to see if I could cover it up. However, I'm still trying to figure it out, and within a reasonable time to actually make all this yellow happen, because I have so many more of these models that need to get painted up, including characters and such. So just wanted to show these off so that whenever if you wanted to make a guess on how many in total I have to actually do at the end of this video, you'd have an accurate guess of how many models I still have unpainted. You can see those are the Warcry. These Atalan Jackals. So these are for Genestealer cults, and I just knew I needed some quick moving guys for these guys, and they look cool anyways. I have them built, and I have started painting them. I'll show them off in just a second. That second is now. As you can see, I have my Kelomorph that is right next to it. Same paint scheme as the other guys that I had already. And then I started with these guys. You can see I kind of actually tried a little bit with their pants to, you know, do different layer colors. And I think I'm also going to try to do cell shading on these guys. I know cell shading for an entire army, especially a horde army, It would take forever, but maybe just a few units and it'll just look extremely cool. But you can see the progress on these guys. I only have the 5 of them. I might get the new combat patrol. However, I really don't want to pay for anything GW because of current pricings and just what they keep on doing to these prices. So back to the actual shelf again. All right, back here on the shelf. Obviously you can see below it, this is just the stuff that I got in that mystery box. Just threw it in here for now. Definitely going to be painting up this scout car and most likely these pikemen from SPQR. Now I've been looking at the Warlord website, and pretty much everything of SPQR has sold out now. So they had a sale. It's 50% off sale, and I guess everyone saw that they weren't making them anymore, and I guess people bought everything that was left. So on there, I think there's just some Germanic slingers and a rule book. So if you really want to get into SPQR, I guess you better hurry before those last 2 items are gone forever. So that's just a little bit of a warning. This is going to be my main focus, I think, actually, besides my Genestealer cult. It's going to be this Italian army. Showed it off before. It just looks really cool, and I really like bolt action. So I want to definitely do these guys. Probably get all of them assembled and maybe started painting on them by May or June timeline, and then July have everything done. That is stretching it for me since I do not paint that often, but that is going to be the goal for this Italian army. I might be posting some occasional updates every now and again with painting. We'll have to see. All right, I got my big chicken. Obviously, every single Lord of Tzeentch, or every single Demons of Tzeentch army has to have a Lord of Change. So this is what this is right here, obviously. My main concern right now is, since I am not the best painter, I've been arguing with myself whether I want an airbrush to try to get those feathers, since I know I cannot blend colors with hand acrylic paints or model paints or whatever. I don't know if I'd be able to do better with an airbrush, but I feel like I could distribute colors more consistently, let's just say. So that's why I haven't started with this guy, but I might actually just go ahead and just full send start painting him. One of these start collecting boxes is empty, but one of them is full. I was always scouring the internet, pretty much eBay, for start collecting boxes, since this is such a good deal. If you have never seen the box itself, it comes with a herald, which could be a herald on chariot, or you have a flaming chariot or an exalted flamer, 3 screamers, 3 flamers, 10 pink horrors. This is pretty much, so it's 18 miniatures in total, but like this is pretty much your entire army line for Demons of Tzeentch, at least for 40k, and it's amazing. So I've gotten 3 of them in total. Like you saw, I've assembled 2 of them, painted most of these guys, and I have a 3rd one now that needs to be done, and I don't think I will need any more Demons of Tzeentch besides maybe 1 more Lord of Change, and that should probably finalize that army. You can see there's a random sprue back here. That's actually another Sisters of Silence sprue. This is from the Shadow Throne box back for Adeptus Custodes against Genestealers in 9th edition. That was actually kind of the thing that spurred me to actually get into Genestealer cult, because I had some models left from that Shadow Throne box. So yeah, I ended up getting Genestealers. So I guess that's thanks to that box that I now have that army, which is quite a lot of fun. This was just the gift from GW. I say gift, but having a subscription with Warhammer Plus, it is not worth it. I do not recommend you to get Warhammer Plus. I feel like it's just a lot of scams, but I haven't canceled the subscription, and I keep on getting eligible for new gifts, so yeah, I have it. Don't do what I do. Obviously, Warhammer is expensive enough, but I also happen to collect Lego. There's actually a very cool thing. If I come back over here across my table, don't mind the music stand, but there is a game called Brick Wars. Now, this isn't made by Lego or anything like that, and I think I'm going to do a whole video on Brick Wars and itself. But pretty much it's a Lego war game, as you can see. So I was actually getting these guys ready to do a battle report or just play a game of Brick Wars, which would be pretty fun, I think. Alright, so I had Baratheons before up above. Now I got a whole bunch of Greyjoy. Inside that box it's just like all of the cards and such. I bought this off of eBay. It was super cheap. This was less than $100 to get like 2 whole armies of Greyjoy, pretty much. Every single kit except for the newest kit, and all the characters. So I couldn't pass on that, especially since I wanted to have another army besides Baratheons in case someone else wanted to play. These guys are not getting painted anytime soon. I might maybe paint 4 of these whatever boards for each of the armies, so that I can at least have a painted section for if anyone wants to come over, but I don't think that's going to be anytime soon since I have so many other things now. Of course, I'm going to count up all of these models that I actually have and say how many I have left to paint at the end of this video. So let's move over. We got the weird Warhammer Underworlds. These actually had some pretty cool Demons of Tzeentch characters in it. It had the you can't see it, I don't think it shows it on the box, but it had like some funny pink horrors. There's like an eyeball guy, just a dude right there. I got a couple of Stormcast Eternals. These are all clipped together, but I thought this would be a fun game, especially to get those Tzeentchy units. But I haven't done those either. Obviously, as a war game person, I had to buy Hero Quest, especially since Amazon has it on sale all the time. None of the units or miniatures are painted in here, but I figured it would just be good to have either to play the game or for any D&D things that I might ever do in the future. It would just be good to have some of these models. So that's Hero Quest. Finally, this is my last box of unpainted miniatures again, and this is the Court of the Crimson King. I think this was the 2022 Christmas Battle Force set for Thousand Sons, and I've just been holding on to this because I want to start a Thousand Sons army. Obviously, I have so many other miniatures first, so I'm just going to keep on holding on to this, but I definitely want to do something with this soon. I don't know when soon is, but we will see. So, definitely that. Alright, so that's going to wrap up the video for now. However, I just wanted to ask you a question, and I'm just going to give you a couple seconds to think. How many miniatures do you think I actually have left to do? So with all you saw, how many do you think I have that are unpainted, unbuilt, anything like that? I'll give you a few seconds to think. Pause it. Alright, so if you have guessed, I actually put them into 3 separate categories. One that is already assembled and just needs to be painted. Category that are pre-assembled, so that's kind of like my Game of Thrones, Song of Ice and Fire miniatures, so they come pre-assembled. And then I also have the ones that are unbuilt, that are still new on sprue, I guess is what you say. So first, we have the first category, which are assembled but yet to be painted. I have 149 miniatures. Woo! Man, I've got a lot of painting to do. These are things that I've already put together, like my Genestealers, pretty much all my Genestealers, and I just haven't painted them so far. A lot of them do come from my Genestealer cult, the rest of my Tzeentch army, pretty much. Some of those haven't been fully painted, and then almost all of my Genestealers, or none of my Genestealers are painted at all. Alright, so next we have the pre-assembled. So these are, like I said, Song of Ice and Fire and the Hero Quest. Although I started some of my Baratheons, and I haven't really finished them at all, and I have a lot more to go. So I have 258 of these pre-assembled guys that need to be painted as well. Some of them still need to be primed, but all of them still need to be painted. So, oh geez, this is already a lot of miniatures that I have on my plate. However, we're not done yet, because I still have the ones that are unbuilt, new on sprue, some of them still new in the box, untouched since purchase, pretty much. And I know a lot of people in the wargame hobby has a lot of these guys as well, and geez, I didn't realize I had this many miniatures in my house, pretty much, or in my apartment, because I have 206 unbuilt miniatures. And some of these, you know, most of them are infantry soldiers. This includes bolt action, Warhammer, Age of Sigmar, anything like that. However, some of them are actually like large models. So like Magnus, the Lord of Change, I still only count those as one model of those 206. I have 4 new vehicles for bolt action that I need to also assemble. And like I said, I got those big guys over there. Not only that, I also, back where I'm from, I had a local game store. I saw on their Discord that they sold the Dominion Age of Sigmar launch box. I believe was the launch box for 2nd edition for Age of Sigmar. It was Cruel Boys against the Stormcast Eternals. Well, they put that on a deal for $50 for that Dominion box, and I just asked a brief favor for my parents, who still live there, to actually go pick that up for me. So there's probably around another 45 to 50 models in that box as well. But since I don't have them on hand, I'm not going to count them in this list, especially since I won't be getting those for a long, long time. So in total, now this is what I was wondering if you could guess, but in total, you might have already added them up, I have 613 unfinished miniatures. So I have a lot to work on this year. The goals for this year, definitely I want to finish the rest of my Custodes, which I only have 8 unbuilt Custodes, and then like 2 more that I actually have to paint, so I definitely want to finish my Custodes army. I want to finish the Japanese guys that I have, including that extra tank. I want to definitely finish the starter army I have for my Italians, and then I want to pretty much at least get started / halfway through my Genestealer cult. I'm going to take a break with my Tzeentch for now. I might do 1 or 2 every now and again. However, that's the main priority. Custodes, then bolt action, and finally my Genestealer cult. Since these guys are just kind of cool, and I already started on them, so I want to kind of finish them, or at least the few that I have. Hopefully this year I can knock out 150 miniatures. Now that's a lot because this past year, I think I counted up, I only painted completely around maybe 20 miniatures. But pretty much that's my goal, around 150 knocked off of this list. Hopefully we can do that. I'll probably be posting updates throughout the year, and we'll see. Maybe some extra videos, maybe some tutorials on how I paint. It's not the best technique, not the best end result, but it's what works shows up on the table. So that's pretty much it. Now, I want to know how many miniatures and models that you still have left unpainted as well. So go ahead and write down in the comments pretty much how many you have to build, how many you have to paint. It's pretty much kind of like the breakdown that I just showed off right now. So keep in mind, if you can top my 613 unfinished right now, well, then good luck to you in 2025. That's going to wrap up this video right now, so I'm just here to say, this is the Flamespot, signing out.